Okay, are we live? Oh, just got my. All right, are we? All right, perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a long, long day for me. Oh, work is crazy. But nonetheless, we must carry on. We must continue to do what we must do. I mean, with the things going on with the world, let's do this piece of string. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. It's been really crazy. Work today was crazy for me. The world has been crazy. I can only say this: we can do so much. We can only worry so much. But there are only things that we can actually change. And that's why, instead of actively worrying, how about we try to do something that we can actively change for ourselves? I don't know, as adults, as the world is going into a crazy moment, it's going quite scary as well. I'm not gonna lie, it does get worrying, but as I was saying, no matter how much we worry, there are things we cannot change. There are things we cannot influence the outcome. The only outcome we can influence is on ourselves. So I'm hoping that instead of over worrying things that we cannot change, I'm hoping I can inspire you that you can try to do things that you can change yourself, things that you can improve on yourself instead. Because there's so much things you can only do on the outside world. So yeah. Anyway, let's do today's workout and chat for a bit as well. So I have sets of dumbbells. Yeah. I have a barbell. The only problem is I haven't separated it. So I'm gonna separate it right now whilst on stream and turn this into a bit of a lighter weight for me to handle. Because I'm old, I can't handle as such heavy weights as I used to. Okay. Oh, here we go. But I'm hoping everyone is having a great evening, is having a better Monday than I am with my Monday blues. Whew. I'm hoping everyone is doing all right in these circumstances that we're facing. Anyway, I have a topic I want to share with you guys. Since my channel is called Anime Mask Guy, it's obvious I will be talking about animes and mangas and all that stuff. And I've noticed recently, well, not recently, I've been noticing this for a while. Mangas. I've been reading mangas for a very, very long time. And I'm a big fan of mangas as well. However, with the current state of things, I am noticing that because of the popularity in Korea with the mangas, Japan is now sort of copying the way how Koreans do their mangas. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all because it's very lazy and it's very dull as well. I don't know how many of you have seen Korean manhwas, but give you an example. If you have read Solo Leveling, since that's the most infamous Korean manhwa that's on the market and is still quite famous to this day, you will notice that it's very different to Japanese mangas. For instance, when you look at Japanese mangas, they have panels and they're all in black and white and such and such. However, in Korean manhwa, it's all in colors, but they don't have it in panels. So there's a lot of gaps or a lot of places where there's empty spaces, but they purposely do that to give you sort of like a dynamic vision of things going on. And they do lean in on it a very lot with the massive gaps and spaces to give you like they are moving from one scene to another. And because of that, they also have a greater, they don't really fit into one panel or anything. They have a larger um, canvas to draw their art. And it does work in their favor because there are times I feel like people understand when you're reading mangas, you wish you can see the action a lot better in through the drawings. And Korean manga does that very well. However, what it creates is a lot of wasted spaces and laziness as well, you could say, because they can cut out a lot of things and they can also drag the story on longer because of, well, the amount of gaps they have between from one scene to another. They can, prolong the story than it should be. Whereas Japanese mangas, they have these sets of boxes and sort of like panels in each page, so they have to fill it out, and there must be something going on, and they have to be very smart about it. As to one, they don't overload of too many text, and two, they're not too small of a square box panel that the users can't read or watch. Nonetheless, we there is two distinct types of mangas. Or if we don't include the Chinese ones, but we just say about Japanese and Korean, there is a distinct one, and they are very popular in their own way because Japanese has been doing their own type of style and their own story. Korean set their market of doing their own stories and their own styles as well. China has been, well, basically copy and paste, but they somehow sometimes, okay, only a few of them would get the good points of each of the popular ones and create a good one in the end. But not all the time. A lot of them are terrible to read. I read some of them only because it's just there's so many chapters you can just, it's more like skipping through and what do you call it? A pastime to read. But anyway, I've sort my dumbbell out or my barbell and do some exercise. So let's do some reps with this. With this bad boy. Here we go. Yeah. Look at my biceps that doesn't exist. We're gonna rip it out now. Ooh. Here we go. I didn't really count, but I'm hoping I did about 10 at least. Ooh, all right. That give me a good pump on my biceps. What do you feel? What do you think? Is this big enough? Nah, it's non-existent. Anyway, as I was saying about the mangas, I was trying to talk about is that for some reason, at some point, the Japanese are now adopting the Korean style mangas, especially with their new, with the new stories that they're coming out with. Still the same isekai. However, they are doing the exact same genre and theme, just like the Korean one. So Korean one also have isekai style, isekai types of stories. However, their isekai version is the fantasy world is coming to Earth instead in a form of portals and gate dungeons that's opened on Earth, and Earth has developed magical abilities that people has now can now draw out and use these abilities on real Earth and inside a portal. And they call themselves hunters. They have different ranks as well, S rank to all the way to E rank and whatnot. Because of solo leveling's popularity, pretty much all Korean mangas are based on this kind of style. There are a few good gems out there that's not based on it, but nonetheless, a lot of them have this sort of like world setting and theme. And unfortunately, Japan is also following suit with their type of mangas. I mean, with their mangas as well. All the new ones coming out is all the same about, but well, with a slight difference. The title is as long as they always have with their isekai. You know, have you ever seen them the isekai? They'll be like, I'm an old man, I've been transported to another world, and I'm having a slow life. Oh, I'm a employee, that 30-year-old man who has been working non-stop, but now I can have a slow life in another world as a nobleman or adventurer. Or I've been transported to another world with a broken skill, and I have now become the most greatest powerful being in the entire world. However, I want to be incognito and have a slow life at the same time. So, like you've seen though, I probably would imagine some of you have already seen these kind of titles. And Japan, with the new types of mangas and art style, with copying the Korean, they also doing the same thing with the title, where it's like, I used to be S rank, but now now been betrayed by my colleagues. I have now become C rank, and I'm going to get my revenge, or something like that. Which is like, oh my god, they can't get any boring with their titles. But nonetheless, yeah, the I don't like the new Japanese mangas. They're copying Korean mangas. They don't have their own sort of like their own world settings or ideas or anything like that now, and it's very cut and paste, very boring as well. So yeah, that's the dilemma I think the Japanese mangas are having, and I'm not enjoying as much as I used to. Although I've really got into a different genre now, which is martial arts wuxia Korean mangas. Really into it now. I don't know why. Really love it, but maybe I love the idea of the martial arts with fancy genres esque combined to it and stuff. But like Dragon Ball Z, you mean? But anyway, on to my second set of I don't know barbell curl with my equipment. All right, ignore my stomach. Okay, that's definitely 10. Oh my goodness. But anyway, how are you all doing? I think I've yapped quite a long time, and I'm hoping I haven't got you all bored just yet. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue to inspire you guys to work out, whether you're working out from home or going to the gym for the first time. I'm hoping these videos will be able to inspire you to not give up and continue to do so. Watching a dorky guy like me going on stream and just working out for the sake of it. I'm hoping this will inspire you to work out as well and to improve yourself. Because that's what helped me really get out of tough times. I mean, there are times where you get really dark, you get really low, you don't know what to do. And I would say working out has helped me with my mental health, has helped me to really it gives me a quiet space where I can think about. I know people say it's not quiet there. Well, for me, it's because I treat it as I don't talk to anyone. I'm not going in there or talk to anyone. I'm just there doing my own stuff, and I can, while I'm lifting the weights, I can think about things, and it gives me that peace just to really have a better thought process of the situation that just happened or transpired recently. And yeah, I believe it has helped me with to come to terms with things and have a better understanding of situations I'm still learning, but nonetheless, the gym does help me to de-stress and sort my thoughts out properly for myself. But anyway, on to the third rep now. Third set. Getting my terminology wrong. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. I can feel my muscle burning now, which is a good thing. Trying to get the muscle working, get the muscle pumped. Look at that. Biceps of non-existent mountain. Yeah. Oh. But anyway. I. Oh. I. Blah blah blah. Whew. How is everyone doing with their workout if you are working out with me? If not, don't worry. There's always a next time. We always have time to do workout. Just a matter of when you're going to choose to do it and when you want to start. It's never too late. It's always a time. There's always time to do so. You always can make time for it. Just the willingness of doing so is another thing. I know all too well about the will of the body because last week I only went to work out once in a gym and I feel really terrible about it. I was kind of beating up myself about it as well. But my lovely girlfriend has told me that I shouldn't beat myself up. Everyone has their downtime, everyone has their downside. Not everyone can always run at 100 miles per hour every day. Treat it as a rest week, treat it as a time to recuperate, and so on. Yeah, so I totally get it. There are times where you just feel like you don't feel like doing anything. If certain situations may have ruined your week, there are times where people has ruined your week as well, and you feel like, what's the point? And I 100% get it. I've been feeling that a lot of times. I always feel like, what's the point with life? What is the point of doing this? It's nothing more but meaningless. But it's that kind of mentality that's also keeping us down. And I've also tried to sort of speak to myself internally and remind myself that I need to be speaking more positively. Because I've noticed that I've been speaking more negatively than usual. And to the point where everything I say and feel is just really sad and depressing. And obviously, it's affecting my mental health as well to become a bit more sad and depressing. And it's also affecting my girlfriend as well. She's like hearing everything I say. Everything I say is literally is just sad and negative, and it's affecting her mood. And I don't think anyone wants to be around someone that's negative and sad and depressing like that. So yeah, I've come to terms where I'm more of a negative Nancy than I usually am, and I need to work on that. And I should try to speak more positively. I know some people are going to say, what is positive to talk about in this world? And that's the point. So quick to conclusions, so quick to say that there's nothing good in the world. And we're not able to just slow down, just stop for a moment and think,